Hey, family, happy Friday. Listen, I completely forgot that yesterday was Thursday, right? The holidays have got me all discombobulated, and I forgot that yesterday was Thursday until it was about, I don't know, um, 8 o'clock, something like that. And I realized I didn't go live on Facebook. I didn't get to talk to you guys like I normally do every Thursday. And so I decided that I would hey Ezel, what's up, dude? Thanks for joining me. Um I thought that I would just come on today, Friday, and just say, what's up, family? This is the last Facebook Live of the year, 2019. And, I've been doing some different stuff, and I think that's why I got a little beside myself because I'm doing too much. I'm doing too much, you guys. I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, and now I'm on Instagram. And so I think that's why I forgot. forgot. So let me just tell you what's going on. For those of you who are new, my name is Cheryl Dorsey, and I'm a retired LAPD sergeant. And I come to you week to week and just talk about things that are trending in the news that have to do with police and community, and what I think the police could do better, what I think citizens could do better. Because at the end of the day, I want everybody to survive that police encounter. And so I'm doing it here, there, and everywhere. And so what I decided to do on Instagram, because I understand you discombobulated too, Ezel. Maybe we need to get together and work that out. I'm just saying, you help me, I help you, right? It's a community effort, okay? um, so I know that everybody's not everywhere. Hey, Robert, everybody's not on every platform. The kids, they're on Instagram and Snapchat. This I know. The old timers, you guys, my contemporaries, and a few youngsters. Um, what's above the millennial? X? Is that the generation? Anyway, yeah, there's a few of you guys that are still on Facebook. And so I just decided that I needed to slide on over to Instagram and do it for the gram, as the kids would say. And so what I'm doing on Instagram, for those of you, hey, Charlena, what's up, family? For those of you who don't know, who aren't on Instagram, you might want to go ahead and sign up and create an account on Instagram, because I try to do a little different stuff on Facebook, YouTube, my podcast, and now Instagram. What I'm doing on Instagram is just really one story. I'm just going to showcase one story on Instagram. It may include a video, because I've kind of figured out how to do that over on Instagram. I can put up a video and then give a little commentary on the video, thanks to my brother in blue, Joe. Thank you, Joe and Marie, for helping me work out that little technical stuff. I appreciate you. And that's what I'll be doing on Instagram. So I'll do one story. I'll probably include a video, and you can chime in and tell me what you think about it. Kind of like what I shared. I've shared a couple of those little videos with you on Facebook just to give you some flavor. The guy, the citizen pursuit in Albuquerque, where the guy had his car rigged up like a damn police car. You guys saw that video. He had his car rigged up like a police car. He had a damn something hanging from the rear view mirror, so it looked like it was the cord for a mic, right? A mic. He had that hanging over his rear view mirror. This jackass had lights, siren, and a damn in-car dash camera that was that was recording. And so, when things like that pop up, and I don't want to wait till my normal Tuesday for my podcast, or Thursday for Facebook and my subbies, I'll go on IG and just share something real quick. So that's what I'm doing on IG. Sergeant SGT Cheryl Dorsey on IG. And because I'm OCD, Sergeant Dorsey Speaks on IG. I have 2 accounts on IG. I have 3 accounts on Facebook. Don't judge me. That's what I do. So you will be up to date and in the know on all of the social media platforms because I'm OCD. So tonight, I just wanted to come to you really quickly and just share a couple of stories with you with regards to the first story that I want to do is give you an update on the Botham Jean case, if you guys don't know. And so listen, you know, we did a lot of back and forth. I was arguing with the subbies about whether or not the Lollipop Gill, you know who that is, right? Whether or not they were going to be successful in that civil suit. And I didn't expect this thing to resolve itself so quickly, but it has. And I wonder if all that hugging and kissing at the end of the trial had anything to do with that. I wonder if, you know, the powers that be realized that this family, you know, while they had an attorney, because, you know, the Lollipop Gill, they, you know, I don't want to say they're ambulance chasers, but I'm just saying every time there's a death, we see the same, you know, one or two faces, and then they hook up with somebody in that town to represent that family, right? And then they wind up having a little menage a trois. Why did that come to my mind? I am so silly. Anyway, you know, they did the Dance of a Thousand Nights when Amber Geiger was found guilty, right? When she was convicted, because conviction generally, when there's a police shooting that ends in a death, conviction means coin, right? Get ready for the city, the police department. They're filling up their buckets and they're about to start throwing it at the family. Not so much this time around. And so I'm just wondering if all that hugging and kissing at the end of the damn trial made folks think that, you know, these black folks are not really bothered by this white woman killing their son as he sat in his house watching football and uh-oh, we got a situation here. My nose, okay. the lights, it's hot. I think that's what gets me. It's not an allergy. I think it's the lights, because you guys don't know what I'm under. But anyway, I think, you know, they figured this black family, they not like the regular, you know, black folks that really, you know, get hot and bothered when we kill their loved ones. They seem to be forgiving and, you know, okay. So, you know, maybe we don't really need to give Amber a whole bunch of jail time. Hey, Thais, maybe we, you know, maybe we don't have to do the whole bucket of money this time around. So evidently what happened was there was some kind of a hearing, and it was before a magistrate judge, whatever that means. I don't know. I'm not an attorney, but it says that there was a magistrate judge who came back with a decision that said the state claim upon which relief was being sought can't be granted. And it sounds like the Lollipop Gill tried to go above the magistrate. And so they went to the U.S. District Judge, Judge Lynn. And Judge Lynn said, I'm with her. Lollipop Gill, you'll do that dance somewhere else. You won't be doing it in Dallas. And so she upheld the magistrate's position. And they said, you know what? This is what I said all along. And so, Commander, if you're listening, because we debated about this dude, and look, I know what the F I know. I told you, Commander, that Dallas PD wasn't going to be held responsible for that girl and what she did off duty, even though she stayed in her uniform. It didn't mean nothing. She wasn't representing Dallas PD. I tried to tell y'all. Some of y'all didn't listen. Subbies, you guys are guilty too. Y'all didn't listen. I know what I know. And sure enough, yeah. So now, because this judge said, you know what, we just gonna take, because, you know, the Lollipop Gill, they tried to throw everybody into the lawsuit. Well, the folks with the deep pockets, they weren't really trying to throw Amber because she ain't got no money. And she's in jail right now, right? Making big rocks into little rocks. And I don't know how much you get paid for that, but it ain't a whole lot. And so since it was 3 people that needed to split up this money in the Lollipop Gill, they were going for the deep pockets. Dallas PD, City of Dallas. And the judge said, hey, you know what? She was off duty. I wasn't there, but this is what I hear her saying in my mind. She was off duty and she wasn't acting in the capacity of a Dallas police officer. She thought she was in her own apartment. That's the lie she told, and she stuck to it. So why is Dallas PD responsible? She's on her own time. Much like I said, if I worked at IHOP and I wore my little uniform and apron home and, I got to cook it and somebody got sick, can y'all sue IHOP because, I have my uniform on? No, you can't. And so the judge took Dallas and just slid them out of the way. So now the Lollipop Guild can only sue Amber Geiger. How much juice do you think they're going to be able to get on that squeeze? Not a whole lot. So yeah, you guys will have to do that dance of 1,000 nights, maybe over in Fort Worth, because at least one of them is representing the family of a Tatiana Jefferson. I don't know why I feel so honorary tonight, and I'm probably stepping on some toes, and I'm probably going to, have some folks pissed off at me, but, I'm just saying, that's what I think. That's how I feel about it. And so, I'm going to just call a thing a thing. I'm just saying what some of y'all been thinking, because you guys tell me, oh, I was thinking that same thing. I'm so glad you said that. And then some of you, especially the subbies, because y'all rowdy, y'all just say, a thing is a thing. And you were thinking exactly what I was thinking, and then we just fuss together, right? So yeah, that's that. The last chapter in the case of Botham Jean, sadly, it's a wrap. It's a done deal. The mother has said, you know what, I'm over this. I'm over this. She's back in St. Lucia, I would imagine. And she says she's trying to heal and she just wants to go on with her life. When you talk like that, it makes people think you don't really care. I'm guessing. I don't know. Because see, here's the deal. If it was my son and you came in his house and shot him while he was watching TV, every time I stood up, I would fall down and somebody would have to put yellow tape around me and then chalk my body. Every time. Because there is no way in hell I'd be okay with that. And ain't no way in hell I'm gonna let you get away with that. That's just me. So, all that hugging and carrying on, that should have been done back in lockup. I don't know if it had anything to do with, why they moved so quickly. I mean, listen, the trial was just in September and already, we're not even out of December yet. And the judge has already thrown out a civil suit. What the hell? Anyway, that's that. Thais, you said Amber is broke as a clock in Goodwill. Yeah, no doubt, right? I mean, she didn't have anything anyway. I mean, she's just a little police officer, and I don't know what they make in Dallas, but I'm looking at some of these salaries on some of these police departments, and I understand why, they over there cutting up, because y'all not paying them enough to really get the cream of the crop in terms of folks joining your department. You can't have a police officer making $30,000 a year. What the hell? You could, well, anyway. So yeah, Amber don't have no money. So the Lollipop Guild gonna have to keep it moving. And that's that. Now, there's another story that I wanted to share with you. And this is, listen, NYPD, ooh-wee. I ain't never seen nothing like NYPD. There was an NYPD officer and he's still on the job. That's why I'm telling you, because every time I catch one of them, doing some dumb shit, I'm gonna tell you who he is, because I need you to remember his name and I need you to tell Lottie Dottie and everybody who he is in case somebody got a case with this dude's name on it. It's Michael J. Reynolds. He's a police officer and he works in Manhattan. He works in Manhattan, New York. He's 26 years old, and you can Google his name and you'll see the story and his picture, because you need to know who he is and what he looks like. But Michael J. Reynolds last year had gone to Tennessee and he rented an Airbnb with some other NYPD officers. And it was a bachelor party and they were doing what, cops do, drunk and acting a damn fool. That's what cops do. Get drunk and get stupid. I know this because I used to live with one. That's what they do. And so they're at this Airbnb, and I don't know how Michael got out the damn house, but he got out the house and then he was trying to get back in. Well, he went to the wrong damn house. He went to an Airbnb next door. And in this Airbnb next door was a Black woman. Her last name is Halliburton. She was in there with her children. I think her children were like 11 and 8. You know, they were little people. And he's trying to get in. He's drunk, and she's not letting him in because he's at the wrong damn house. And so this jackass kicks in the door. He kicks in the door. She has a dog with her. And, you know, she's trying to tell him, I would imagine, you know, that you're at the wrong place. What are you doing? And he's terrorizing her. These are her words, I guess, terrorizing her. Then he's yelling and calling her and her boys the N-word and trying to throw them out of their Airbnb because he thinks it's his because he's drunk on his ass. She calls the police. The police eventually come, and guess what? Do they arrest him? Oh, no. He got the homie hookup because he's got that pale privilege, right? They don't arrest him. He done kicked in the damn door. It's not her door. She rented it. So that means somebody's got to be responsible for the damage to the Airbnb that she had rented. And I don't know who ultimately was because the article didn't say that. But I'm just saying, you know, these are all the things that are running through my supervisory mind as I'm thinking about how far up his ass I'm going to shove my foot administratively, right? I haven't been drinking, you guys. I know I'm talking a lot of, you know, stuff tonight. It's not because I've been drinking, Thais. I'm not doing what you do, girl. I'm not drunk. I'm just, you know, a little feisty tonight. But anyway, so anyway, he you know, he's scaring this woman to death. And she calls the police come, and they don't take him to jail. They don't arrest him. They don't do any of that. Not right away. Eventually he does, you know, because this is Tennessee. Go figure. Eventually he does have to atone for his sins, and he winds up being charged, or he pled no contest, right? He pled no contest to 1 count of aggravated criminal trespassing and 3 counts of assault for his role in that whole chasing the woman and her 2 sons through the house, calling them the N-word. And because of the plea, he was able to just do about 2 weeks in jail. Now, listen, I don't know how Tennessee gets down. 2 weeks in jail might mean, you know, 30 minutes, right? Kind of like it is here. Hey, Tonda, what's up? So really, he got very little time. Happy holidays, Cousin Patty. He got very little time and 3 years probation. What? But that's not the kicker. The kicker is he's still on the job. NYPD has not done anything substantive in my mind with him. You know, that was last year. So whatever they were going to do, they should have done by now. And if they did, they're not talking about it. So he's still on the job. Michael J. Reynolds, 26-year-old male white working in Manhattan, New York, on the police department. So listen, he has shown us who he is. He's told us who he is. I believe him. I believe Michael J. Reynolds. He's a card-carrying Klansman family. And so for those of you in New York, you need to bring up that link. And you know what? Let me just, because this is Christmas and, you know, this is the season of giving, right? So let me just go ahead and give you the link so you can see what this jackass looks like. So, you know, you might just want to save it in your phone or something. And, you know, in case you encounter him, I know it's about 40,000 of those people on the NYPD, but nonetheless, you need to know what he looks like. Because listen, if they want to assume that liability, if they want to keep him on the job, here's the link, family. I'm going to share it with you right now. If they want to keep him on the job, listen, comply and complain when you run into him. Don't be stupid. Don't, you know, don't make your family the beneficiary of the NYPD lottery because he'll kill you, you know. And then there'll only be one version, right? Like I tell you guys, the one that he's going to give. So go ahead and let him act a fool. Let him call you names and do whatever it is he's going to do. And then, you know, get you a mansion and a yacht. Put your babies through school. Because listen, I promise you, that's not the first time that he's acted a damn fool. That's who he is. Maybe Michael J. Reynolds has a drinking problem. I don't know. NYPD doesn't seem to care. Because listen, truth be told, you know, it's like a rite of passage, you know, for a police officer to get drunk and do stupid stuff. If you haven't done it at least once or twice, then, you know, we don't know if we could trust you. I could tell you some stories about Mr. Dorsey. when he was trying to get home because I was, at the house, spitting like a damn cobra, wondering where the hell are you? And he's out drinking with his buddies, and they're laying across the front of his car, so he can't drive and leave, because if he drives off, he'll run over him and kill him. That's how stupid they were. 700 Club. I know you're not on Facebook, but some of you may know who's in the 700 Club. It was just one of them, one of the members. And, that's why Mr. Dorsey lives where he lived and I live where I live, because cops do stupid stuff. And police departments know that cops do stupid stuff, and they only clutch their pearls when they've done something so stupid that it winds up in a death, and now they cannot look the other way. So, they pretend like they don't really understand and they don't know what happened, and they want to get to the truth of the facts. And, oh, by the way, here's coin, here's a little money, let me throw a bucket your way. And then they change nothing, right? So yeah, Michael J. Reynolds, 26 years old, works patrol in Manhattan. He lives to offend again, know that. Hey, Barbara, happy Friday to you as well. Sonoma County. This reminds me of the whole Rodney King thing. Very tragic story. Remember, LAPD was in pursuit, and then CHP decided that they wanted to get in on LAPD stuff. And LAPD wound up, what happened with the whole Rodney King thing. And then CHP, they had some explaining to do, because they were like, hey, we didn't put our hands on him, but you were there. And that's the problem when you have other agencies getting involved in, other agencies' shit, if I could say it like that, because you don't know, who's a hothead, who's going to do something stupid. And now you're there. And if you're just standing around looking and pretending like you don't really see what's going on, when it goes sideways, you got to go to court and you got to explain, or you got to tell your captain, internal affairs, why this person's, head was put in a vice and cracked like a nut. So Santa Rosa PD got in a vehicle chase of this gentleman. Now, here's a problem. The guy had reported his car stolen, and I think he may not be like, 100%, because he has a caretaker who lives with him, the way the story goes. His name is David Glenn Ward. He had a caretaker who lived with him, and it seems like the caretaker was a little abusive, maybe a little elder abuse going on. The caretaker took his car. Somehow David got his car back. But when he got his car back, either he didn't know or he didn't think to call Santa Rosa and tell them that I got my car back. So, when you report your car stolen, it remains in the system as a stolen vehicle until you notify police, and then they do a recovered stolen, and then they take it out of the system. So I don't know if you guys can hear what's going on in the background. I didn't turn my TV off, and I just got a damn some kind of alert going on. So if you hear a strange man's voice, yeah, there's an Amber Alert in Garden Grove, California right now, and I guess they're broadcasting it on my TV. Anyway, back to Santa Rosa PD and this stolen vehicle. So David Ward didn't tell them that he had his car back. He's out driving the car. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning. Santa Rosa PD sees the car, runs the plate for whatever reason, stolen. So, everybody gets all excited, stolen vehicle. Oh shit. They probably got on the radio and started, all kind of machinations. Well, Sonoma County deputy sheriffs heard Santa Rosa and decided, hey, why don't we go back them up on this stolen vehicle? So they're chasing David. Now, David won't pull over. Why David won't pull over, I don't know. And that's why I think he might have been a little off. Not quite there 100% mentally. At some point, he does stop the car. And, when the car stops, everybody jumps out. And now they're, getting a position of cover and concealment behind their car. Guns are drawn. People are barking out orders. David takes off again. So the chase is back on a second time. And I would imagine by now they're probably really amped up, because that's what happens. They got tunnel vision and they're getting pissed. The longer this pursuit goes on, the angrier they are with this guy, because not only is he endangering, community, he's endangering the officers' lives too as they chase him and his own. And so, you know, this stop, start happens a couple of times. And at some point they do a pit maneuver. And so they spin his little car around, and now you see him in the vehicle. And that's when it gets real stupid. You see David Ward in the vehicle. And so let me go ahead. No, you know what? I'm not going to give you the link. You need to go to YouTube. I mean, you need to go to Instagram, because I put it up over there. David Glenn Ward is his name if you don't want to go to IG. You see the video, and they're barking orders and they're cussing at him like cops do. You know, let me see your effing hands. Don't effing move. I'll blow your effing head off. All of that. And he's trying to say, hey, what's the deal? You know, I'm the victim here. Why are you guys doing this? And he never says to them that, oh, you think my car is stolen? No, I'm the driver. I'm the owner. I got it back. They're trying to pull him out the window. They're breaking the glass on his car. And then this guy from Sonoma County, it wasn't even his caper, but he just had to get in there, and he had to, you know, get in a lick. And you know how cops do, just like at a football game, right? When everybody starts piling on the doggone, and I'm not a, you know, football girl, but I've seen a tackle or two, and you got the guy at the bottom, and then folks are still jumping on, right? That's what cops do at the end of a foot pursuit, because, you know, they're about to hand you your ass. They're about to punish you for running either on foot or in a car. And so this guy from Sonoma County, his name is Charlie Blunt, and Charlie decides that he wants to be Billy Badass, not even his caper, but he's gonna make it his. And he gets this guy who can't get out of the car. He's telling him, my legs, my legs. I read somewhere that he's in a wheelchair. I don't even know if he can walk, but he's saying, my legs, my legs. They think he's being non-compliant. This is a white man now. So, you know, race has nothing to do with stupid when it comes to cops, whether it's the victim or the cops. They're trying to pull him through the window, and they can't get him out. So this Sonoma County deputy, Charlie Blunt, gets his head, and he bams his head as hard as he can on the window frame of the car twice. And while he's doing that, Santa Rosa is juicing this guy up with the taser, and he's screaming and hollering. And I tell you, the noise that it made when his head was smashed on that frame of that car, it was really, really bad. It's really hard to watch. And because I'm a cop and I'm a little twisted, it kind of reminded me, if you ever, I remember my dad, you know, we had a nutcracker, and he used to eat walnuts, right? And he would put the walnut in there and crack it. That's what it sounded like. Well, poor David Ward died. Now, when Charlie Blunt did that dumb shit, eventually, because now David he's kind of passed out, they get him out of the car, they lay him on the ground, and one of the Santa Rosa guys looks and he's like, oh shit, that's the owner of the car, that's David. And so now Billy Badass, Charlie, is like, well, fuck, you know, why did he run? You know, why did he not stop? How come he didn't just get out the car? And everybody's, you know, scratching their ass and looking wise and otherwise. They just brutalized this man because they could, because they were mad, because he didn't comply. And that's what people do sometimes. They don't comply, whether they're not compliant because they're just confused, they don't understand, they have some kind of mental deficiency, or because they're a bad guy and they don't want to go back to jail. But police officers are not taught and trained to punish folks. Police officers are only to use that force necessary to overcome resistance. This was not about compliance. That was punishment. And so now Charlie Blunt, because he inserted himself somewhere he didn't have any damn business being, is about to get punished. He's been fired. The sheriff said, you know, after he saw that video, he couldn't even mess with him. He said, you know what? You need to go, not now, sir, but right now. And so he's going to be facing probably a murder charge. And so I'll keep you posted, and I'll let you know what ultimately happens in terms of whether or not this thing goes to trial. And if it goes to trial, I would imagine even before trial, Deputy Charlie Blunt, B-L-O-U-N-T, dumb ass, will probably plead. I can't imagine that he's going to try to fight this in court and say that that man did anything reasonably that would have caused him to smash his head repeatedly in the window frame of his car. So, note to self, note to self, comply, comply and complain, survive the police encounter, and tell your family to do the same. Tell your family to do the same. And there's one more story that I want to share with you. There is a white woman over in Iowa. And I share this with you because although this is in Iowa, this could have happened anywhere. She is being charged with attempted murder. She tried to run over two young people. There was a 14-year-old Hispanic girl that she did successfully hit with her car. And then they found out that earlier she had also attempted to run over I think he was 12 years old, a little black kid. And they finally caught her because after these two attempted murders, if you will, with her vehicle, she went into a convenience store and she was in there stealing. And that's when she was arrested for the theft. And while she was in there stealing, she was yelling racial slurs at the clerk, and admitted that the reason that she ran over the little girl is because she was a Mexican. And I would imagine the same reason she ran over or tried to run over the little boy is because he was black. So I share this with you because, you never know if there's a copycat out there. And I'm going to share this link with you. You never know if there's a copycat out there who might see this, or somebody who's like-minded. And so again, there's so many conversations that we have to have with our young people, so many things that they need to be aware of. And, walking down the street being black, walking down the street being Hispanic may give someone, a reason to want to try to hurt you with a vehicle. So, just, you got to keep your head on a swivel all the time, wherever you are, no matter what you're doing. And so while I don't want to ever make anyone paranoid, and I don't, I share these stories with my own little cubs, and I tell them, they're like, Mom, you watch too much TV. But I just share these things with them because I want them to know that there are crazy people in the world, and that, as best you can, if you know these things are possible, if you know these things are occurring, perhaps you can avoid being a victim. And so that's why I share this with you, and I hope you'll share it with your family. So that's it. That's it. Happy holidays. I will see you guys next year. And I just want to say, thank you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being so consistent in following me, for sharing my podcast, my YouTube channel, and my Facebook pages with your friends and family, so that others get to know that there's somebody like me out here talking the way that I do. And I'm looking forward to doing more of this with all of you in the new year. And also, because I learned on last night that a family member passed away, I'm guilty of this too. Sometimes you say you're going to call a friend or a family member, and then you say, oh, I'll call them later. And then later turns into next week, next month. Let's all, make it a point in the new year to not put off for tomorrow what we could probably do today, because, I've said this to you before, tomorrow's not promised, tonight's not promised. And so, let's make sure that we, that we reach out to one another, and we make sure everybody's in a good place, and that we let everybody who means something to us know that they mean something to us, kind of like what I'm doing right here, right now with all of you. So until next year, family, be good and be safe.